like I would just see like when they were like a certain age, like when she was like 4 and she would be able to speak to her little sister, and I'd be like, do you understand what she's saying? Like I wanted like
you wanted to know, yeah.
Like, do you understand what she's saying? Like, can you still understand at this age? Like, is it like 2, 3 when they start speaking more fluent English and they like no longer can
talk with babies?
I'm just kind of, I know that's like stupid, but I just
it's not stupid. I think that about animals all the time. Like I'm like, do dogs like? Because I've had a lot of like dogs growing up, so like. I always wondered, like, do my dogs, like, talk to each other? Do they understand each other? Like, how do they communicate? Or, like, or cats, or a cat with a dog, or, you know, just different, like, crossing over, like, I don't know.
Yeah, animals do legitimately be communicating with each other, though. Yeah.
Tyler, you need to write down the Ed, and Eddie one.
No, but that's the Ed, Eddie one, you know, they're weird looking too, and they have like purple tongues and things like that. And they say that's because they're all dead. All of these fan theories are always very depressing.
Very depressing. Or weird. Very like.
Yeah, and there's actually one that I like because it's not depressing at all. Well, actually, no, I take it back. It's kind of sad. If you ever seen the Toy Story movies, obviously, you know, I love Toy Story so much. And in Toy Story 2, they introduced the cowgirl, Jessie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, but she has the same hat that Andy has.
Yeah.
And people have theorized, and I actually think could be actually kind of legit, is that Andy's mom was Jessie's original owner.
Yeah, that's
possible. In Toy Story 2, how she told the story to Emily, how she abandoned her and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And people, you know, linked it all together and said Andy's mom was her original owner, and it made so much freaking sense, dude.
Yeah, no, that does make a lot of sense.
And another one that I love, another Toy Story theory that I love, is that Toy Story and The Walking Dead are the exact same.
that sounds crazy, but okay.
But it's freaking hilarious though. Like they have it all mapped out. You can look it up. They say Rick Grimes is Woody because they're both
sheriffs.
They're both sheriffs and the cowboy hats.
Oh my god.
And Carl represents Andy, and Buzz represents Shane. Shane was Rick's best friend in The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
And then
what about Daryl?
Rick killed. Well, no. Rick killed.
No, but Daryl's one of the main guys. So I even know Daryl. I don't like
Daryl's not even in the comic books. He was just invented just for the television show.
I like Daryl.
But Rick killed Shane in The Walking Dead, and Woody attempted to kill Buzz.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's so true.
And then they were supposed to be friends.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's so funny.
There's actually way more to it. There was another one that was really funny, but I can't remember it now. I completely blanked. But yeah, and there's another acting that's actually true in Toy Story. There's a scene in the movie, and I don't know how this happened. It could have been another disgruntled employee, but the toys are in Andy's room, and they're having a meeting, and you see a shadow. The shadow is clearly not of the toys. It is a shadow of an act being performed, and that's all I'm going to say.
What?
That's all I'm going to say.
Wait, which movie?
You can look it up. It's Toy Story.
Which one?
The first one.
The first one. Mm-hmm. And when they're having the meeting.
Yeah, like when you remember when Woody he takes the mic and he's telling them all
they're
together.
doing them. Yeah,
I believe it's that scene. I'm not 100% positive it's that scene.
I'm gonna watch that movie.
Yeah, you can just Google it. But yeah, so you know these Disney movies, they're infamous for having those little references, sneaking in there. Now I want to talk about one in The Lion King. There's this whole thing going around that there's a scene in Lion King when Simba sits down and then a cloud of dust goes up and then it has the word sex in the sky. You watch the movie Lion King. You watch the movie, it looks like it says sex, right? It looks like it says that, and you're like, why is that there? And they're like subliminal messages, but actually it's SFX, which is the name of their special effects team.
Okay.
But it does look like sex. They should have just rethought that. Maybe because Disney movies always
X, you know.
Yeah, Disney movies always have Easter eggs and hidden Mickeys and things like that. So that was like a little Easter egg. But they should have just left that one out of there. And there was another one that was actually true. Is the original poster for The Little Mermaid? You look at the castle and you see a.
Oh my god. Don't even finish.
Okay. You see something that's not supposed to be there, and it actually was confirmed by Disney that it happened by a disgruntled employee, and they had to like recall the posters and then release them with
So
that no
someone
longer there.
intentionally did it?
Yeah, someone intentionally
That
did
is
it.
so funny.
That would be so mad. Like,
is
this is a
so
kid's
hilarious.
movie. Don't do that.
That is hilarious. My goodness.
This is just a hot mess. And more theories, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is another one. They said that another very thought out theory that Ferris Bueller actually does not exist and he's an alter ego of Cameron's, the main character Cameron.
Yeah.
Like he's on his head, and they say because there's little clues to this within the movie. They say whenever Ferris calls Cameron has Ferris on speakerphone. He never once picks up the phone, and this is letting the audience know that Cameron is having a conversation with himself. Another scene has Cameron saying that he's dying, and then Ferris chimes in on the answering machine. It says, "You're not dying. You just can't think of anything good to do." But Ferris never heard him say, "I'm dying." So why would he be able to?
That's weird.
Yeah. So, and that could be another movie mistake. But it's like, how do you let that go by you? You know what I mean? And they both called out sick the same day. Cameron's always behind for the ride. This shows that Ferris is in control, and Cameron has given up on trying to argue with Ferris and lets him take the wheel. There was another one when they have a scene in the car, and I guess it shows, and I think everybody knows the scene that I'm talking about, but it kind of, if you watch it again, it kind of makes it obvious that Cameron's not really talking to Ferris. He's talking to himself. That's just, like I said, it's just theories. These are just theories. I know you had another one that you liked.
Yeah, the SpongeBob one. I thought that one was a trip.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so SpongeBob and, Patrick and Sandy, everyone, they're all a product of radiation from the atomic testing during the 40s and the 50s, and like this is like legit, like you can research it, that they did do atomic testing in the ocean near Bikini Atoll, it's called. So Bikini Atoll is like an actual place, like you can Google it, map it, whatever, and that's why they live in Bikini Bottom, like Bikini Atoll, Bikini Bottom, and yeah, it makes sense. So I thought that was really interesting.
Interesting fact, SpongeBob was originally supposed to be a show for adults.
Like
with a dog.
Yeah.
Kind of like that silly type of Family Guy.
Like Family Guy.
Type of humor.
American Dad, yeah. Those are, I could definitely see that because I feel like they still have elements like that in
they do.
Yeah.
They definitely still
they
have like little
very
references
more subtle, yeah.
They slip in there, and a lot of cartoons have done that, like Rocko's Modern Life. You remember that show?
Yeah, I remember Rocko's.
Do you remember that episode where he got a job as a phone operator?
No.
Okay, well,
where's this going?
There's a phone operator, and they never explicitly stated what company he was worked for, but he gets on the phone, and this is Rocko's Modern Life. This is a cartoon for children, and he gets on the phone, and he's reading the script, and it says, he goes, "Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby." So it was, and then there's a sign with the rules and behind him. And
I think I do remember that because he's sitting at like this really like long desk and there's like other people and he's sitting there on like his like little.
I don't know if there was maybe there was other people in this. I don't remember.
I feel like I remember that scene now because I do remember him looking at the rules. Like so freaking hilarious.
But as a kid, you don't know. You're just like,
God, that's so horrible. It's so funny. Okay, what about the Fresh Prince one? Because that
one I don't believe it, but I can.
That one, I'm sorry, but I'm like a huge Fresh Prince fan, and that like literally broke my heart because to me it makes sense. The whole fan theory is that Will actually died in the fight.
They always have to die. Yeah.
No, he died in the fight on the basketball court in West Philly. So the beginning of the song where he's like, a couple guys, they were up to no good, started making trouble in the neighborhood. He got in the fight. His mom got scared, and whatever.
But he didn't.
He actually died, and the taxi driver, which is weird that he's going from West Philly to Bel Air. Like, what taxi goes from West Philly to Bel Air, right?
So they could have picked him up from the airport.
So they say the taxi driver is actually like a representation of him going to heaven. So he takes Will to heaven where he works out all his issues with his wealthy aunt and uncle, and Will only sees his mother and father on special occasions because that's when they come to visit his grave. That's so depressing. Why would you tell me that? Like, I love that, like, show so much.
But that's
like,
what the internet does. They make everything as depressing as
they
possible.
do. Oh my gosh. What was that other stuff you told me? You showed me on, like, Creepypasta or whatever that website was.
Oh,
you
no. Well, Creepypasta is actually, you know, and this is actually something I wanted to do. When he says jumping the shark, you already just made the Fresh Prince into a whole other thing that's not.
It totally ruined it for me. I was so
It's not,
sad.
but that's not the intention of the writer. It's like, let's like, Will Smith is dead the whole time.
He's
We're
like,
not really
he
saying
always
it.
had like life issues and problems that he was facing in those shows. So it's like it is like he's almost working out. Like you're seeing him live his afterlife. Like
So
that's what they
I have
say.
a question. So if Will Smith is dead the whole time, and this is supposed to be heaven, why in the heck would in heaven he get shot?
Oh, that was
Remember
so
he got
sad.
shot
Yes,
trying to protect Carlton? Because
Because
Carlton don't know the rule in the streets is that you don't reach when someone has a gun
gun
at
on
you,
you, right?
pointed at you. You don't reach ever. And he's like, I have more money here. I'm like, you big dummy. Like,
I would love to know what fan theory they can come up for that. Maybe maybe he was, I don't know.
Yeah, see.
Maybe he was about to come to terms with his death.
Oh my God.
and he was about to come to terms with his death, and he was finally about to
She's
accept it.
determined to have
And
this
then,
theory.
you know, so he got shot, but then he ended up surviving because he wanted to continue to live on through this afterlife.
Okay.
Like, but at the last episode of that whole series,
Makes perfect sense.
they sold the mansion, and I just read this today that when they sold the mansion, the last scene in that show is everyone left, and Will's the last person in the
That's
house,
true.
and he shuts off the light, and he's like all alone, and they say like him shutting off the lights and like going is like a representation of him finally accepting like
Yes.
his death, like, you know, and that's I mean that whole thing just kind of tied together really well.
Okay.
Still makes me sad, but
Don't let it make you sad. It's okay. He was alive the whole time. It's fine. But okay. So go back to the creepypastas that you were talking about.
I don't know. You were telling me. Oh, what
Creepypastas are
The
stories
Squidward
that.
one.
But I was trying to say that creepypastas are stories, like little scary stories that people put out, but they're not actually like based on truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just to creep people out, and there's like really creepy ones like about Disneyland, which is already. Do you guys know that Disneyland? There's a whole nother world beneath Disneyland. Like when I'm sorry, Disney World. When you're walking, and this is an actual fact. This isn't an urban legend. It's actually true. When you're walking around in Disney World, just know that there's people underneath your feet. Isn't that like the weirdest thing?
No, they're probably workers. They probably work.
Oh well, there's like things under there. There's like banks and things like that under there, but it's just weird because it's like there shouldn't be anything else.
Wait, you're saying there's
a whole
banks under there?
Yeah, like it's a whole like other thing. Like it's another world beneath Disney World. Like the employees know about it. I mean, like there's so many like crazy Disney World.
It's probably because
stories that I've
Disneyland or
heard.
Disney World's so big that they need like a place just for the employees to get around. You know what I mean? They need like another level that's just for
Yeah,
them.
like there's a whole
like a layer
thing about it or whatever. And then they have like these things like when you walking, they try to manipulate you into spending your money. Like so they have like these stations like around Disney World. This is true. And it like pumps out smells like popcorn.
pheromones to like make you
Yeah,
want to buy
like, so
stuff.
you go in and you smell like popcorn, and you smell like, I don't know if you can smell, what can you smell? Candy, what's it called? Cotton candy? I don't know if that has a smell. But anyways, popcorn and food and different things like that, and it makes you want to spend your money and buy these things, right? Like if you go in a movie theater and you smell fresh popcorn, you're like, dang, I really want some popcorn right now. So Disney World, they do that, and they have you smelling all these things, and you're like really wanting to buy that stuff. So they manipulate you.
You're making me hungry, man. What are you talking about this? Like the food that you did not leave me any leftovers with.
Oh wait, Tyler says he knows somebody who works at Disneyland or Disney World that's coming back to state next month. If he has good stories, because there's other things that I've heard, like, okay, so you know like it's Six Flags and things like that, you always hear about people dying on roller coasters and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, technically, if you die, this is so morbid, but if you die at Disney World, they'll take you and bring you to the hospital and pronounce you dead there so that they can say nobody
We
has
died on
ever died at Disney World.
That's messed up.
It is. Disney World makes me mad. They freaking closed down the Tower of Terror. Why would you do that?
Why did they do that?
I don't. Oh, because they're putting the stupid Guardians of the Galaxy right there. They're also adding an Avatar ride. It's gonna be lit.
So he works at Disneyland, but he worked at Disney World prior.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So we definitely have to get some of his stories, Tyler, because I want to know now. I'm curious.
Yeah, because
Okay,
I know
so
people who work there too, and they've had some interesting stories of the things that they've seen at Disneyland.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
I've never been to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World, and I want to go to Disneyland. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh. I was like, whoops.
We got more. No, it's good. But anyway.